Stream should be all set now. Yep. What we're going to be doing during this stream is actually pretty important. I'm going to run one of these every 3 months now. Physical and magical blinks are infinite duration. They last until they get taken off by physical or magical attacks. Banners, events, happenings in between now and the next seasonal festival, which is 3rd anniversary. We're also covering the 3rd anniversary. It's kind of a look forward type thing. Like, what do I want to do from now and until the next big festival? Because the festivals are kind of, you know, what a lot of the game is centered around. And this one is no exception. We need to find out what's worth our time, you know? Do I really just auto my way through and get mithril and orbs and motes until the next festival, or is there actually something for me to do? And there is. I believe there is a visual indicator. Why? That's so crazy. Thank you very much, Slick. I hope you enjoy my sister's stream. Astra does have a timer. Physical and magical blinks do not. Is there a visual indicator? There is Rainmaker. It's tough to describe. The flickering is different, I think. Maybe it's just me thinking that there is. I would run into a battle where you know someone's not going to get hit, like with some physical attacks or something, and have someone taunt, and then just use it and figure it out. I think that the flickering is different, and I feel like I can tell. Alright, so yeah, that World of Tanks ad was actually tanking my processor. That's what happened. When I was down here, everything was fine. Then I was watching my my processor usage was jumping like by 40% when I was up here. Refreshed the page and the ad went away. All gone. I think I was farming cryptocurrency for somebody while that was active. Which is kind of a problem. I figured I wouldn't be having that problem by using Google's ads. Something to fix. Something to fix. Okay, so we are looking at the time period in between now and the next festival, which is January, February, and March. And at the end of March will be the 3rd anniversary festival, with its 5 banners of doom. This is an estimated time of arrival for events. It is not set in stone. The last event that we actually have a semi-concrete date for will be the Final Fantasy XIV event, which is set to start on February 7th. We actually do not have one for this Final Fantasy I event, but because we do not have an event in between Type 0 on the 24th and Final Fantasy XIV on the 7th. I placed Final Fantasy 1 here as an estimated time. But that may be wrong. This event may actually occur after Final Fantasy XIV. Because another thing that we do know, another date that we have, is that on January 31st is when the 4-star Magicite dungeons are launching. So that may be their reason for not having a date on the 31st, which would mean every single one of these events gets pushed up 1 week. So, while it appears at the moment that we're looking at the Final Fantasy II on March 21st and Final Fantasy X on March 28th, those would get pushed up a week. Or pushed back a week. Hey, Mumbin. What's going on? And sometimes there's other things that interrupt the flow of events as well. So, but usually they get pushed back instead of pushed forward. So, this stuff down here, Final Fantasy 13, 3, Type 0, 6, this is all stuff that you can guarantee is going to be coming after their 3rd anniversary. So we're not going to cover that stuff. What we will cover is starting at Dress to the Nines. I just did a event preview for it, and for anyone that had any inkling of pulling on this banner, my suggestion would be not to, because it's a pretty poor banner, even if you're pulling for the people that specifically that are on it, because almost all of them, except for like Lena and Ferris, have better places to pull for them. So the only reason to pull on this banner is if you want to pull on a banner that has all these characters on them, and that's pretty much it. Or if you want a moonshot for some of those old Super Soul Breaks that appear on this banner, because this is Super Soul Break Plus for these characters. Because you're probably not going to find those Super Soul Breaks available elsewhere. Except maybe on selection draws. So, Dress to the Nines is not going to be a big draw for, hopefully, just about everybody. So next up we have Type 0. Type 0 will be on the 24th. And let's go take a look at the event. And this is not going to be full previews because that would take forever. I'm just going to do a quick comb. We're going to look at abilities, new characters, and to see... And this is really going to be my opinion because I need to move stuff along. I'm just going to move past banners I don't think have mass appeal. Here we have 2 new abilities coming in this event. One that was very, very nice for all of us Bart's users is Graveling Quad Strike. 5-star Spellblade, 4 single target instead of the crappy 2 area of effect that we have right now. Definitely a big buff to Bart's, but you know, what isn't these days? And Grace is a 3-star mind plus 20%. It's basically boost, faith, boost is for attack, faith is for magic, and Grace will be for mind. So that's it. We do have 2 new characters here. Rem, who is pretty magey, and Machina. Machina is an Earth Spellblade, and Rem is a Holy Mage. Rosetta Stone or Reforge on a 6-star. I'm not really sure what you mean by that. I somehow got my hand. What did you get your hands on? Okay. Anyways. Those are the characters that we get. Rem is a good character. Machina is not. Oh, 3. Sorry, we got Queen as well. I forget, and I don't even know why, because I hate the first 2 characters, but I like Queen. Queen is a lightning spellblade. And she's actually really good. So Queen is good, Machina is not, Rem is good. The banners, because Machina appears on the first banner, it actually kind of soils it. And I think one of the big problems with the first banner is sometimes banners are good enough to overcome having one character. I think one thing that really, really affects this banner, well, for one, Type 0 is not a developed enough realm yet, or at least they didn't think so. So they shot back the banner format. It is not 4 6-stars at the top. It is 3 6-stars. Burst section, Legend Materia section, and 3 Super Soul Breaks. The banner format is actually just awful, and you're going to end up with a lot of Super Soul Breaks if you try playing on this. Another issue with this banner is that Machina is on it. Third issue on it is the 2 good characters on the banner, Rem and Deuce, actually have really awful Legend Materia. So a normal, like, strong point on a banner with 2 good characters on it is that you're going to see good stuff at the top, and you're going to see at least decent enough Legend Materia to go with them. Neither of these characters have that, so it really populates this banner with a lot of stuff that nobody wants. So I really wouldn't suggest it. If you're looking for Deuce stuff, I'm sorry. Deuce is my favorite Type 0 character. I would have liked a good place to go after her stuff, but it definitely isn't this banner. Rem has a very good banner in the future that not only has her USB, but it also has her OSB on it. And her OSB is a plus holy dagger. That's a really awesome thing, and anyway, that's a much better place to get it. So there's so many problems with this banner, I just can't suggest it to anyone but hardcore fans. Second banner is a lot better, because Ace and Queen are both good characters, and 9 is what we would have hoped to see on the first banner. A small footprint by a bad character. 9 is a bad character, but he doesn't have anything on the 6-star section. All he really is a burst, a Legend Materia, and a super. Ace is a fire mage, Queen is a lightning spellblade. So this would be one to consider. Definitely if you're a fan of Ace and Queen. I am. They were 2 of my more preferred characters in the game. But is the character good, or is the banner good compared to stuff that we're going to be seeing in the future? Not really. Because of the banner format, it makes both of these banners kind of underpowered in comparison to a lot of the stuff that we're going to be seeing until the next festival. So I'm going to throw both of these banners into for fans, and if you are a fan of Type 0, I would definitely go after, or at least concentrate on banner 2 rather than 1. But otherwise, not so good. Next, I will cover Final Fantasy 1. Because there is a possibility that it will be appearing here. And we get one new character in Thief. He is just... Get this. He's a thief. And he's kind of a stat debuffing type character, even though he has no support access. And that's it. The character himself is only okay. You know what's actually decent about him is that Final Fantasy 1, but beyond Echo, didn't really have much of a debuffer. Echo's kind of a weird debuffer, and I personally use her as my debuffer in Final Fantasy 1, but it will be nice to have a physical option. We've got 2 banners, and both of them are actually pretty interesting. So we've reclaimed our 4 6-stars status. So we're back into the good stuff. And on this is basically, we're going to call this the Garland banner. Garland backed up by Sarah. Sarah, with her Stockholm Syndrome, assists Garland in giving us some dark stuff. Garland's USB, Rebellion is a plus dark sword. It is a very good physical darkness soul break. Soraka, yes, I did. Sarah is a very, very powerful healer, buffing healer soul break. Master is a very powerful non-elemental. And Garland's OSB is here, and because he is a good character, believe it or not, Garland is a very good character now. That is also here, and like the 4th banner of the festival, this has a pseudo 6-star in its personal break section. Garland has a copy of Squall's BSB, BSB2, that stacks up and has a gigantic attack on the second command. So just a really, really powerful start of the banner, and some good support coming later on. Master has a great burst. Sarah has a great burst. Echo. Okay, Wall, we got some bad stuff going on. Sarah's LMR is good. Echo's LMR is fine, but it's on Echo. Garland's LMR is extremely good for him, because gaining quick cast is what enables him to use his burst soul break to good effect, and it works with both his USB and his BSB. Master is... that's bad. So that's that banner. It's really good. Dark, non-elemental, and healer. So there's going to be some people that fall into the category that that need that kind of stuff. It's pretty far into the future, though, Counting Kittens. I agree that it is. If you're looking for it to pick up Final Fantasy I things, this isn't the banner. But if you're looking to pick up these specific things, strong physical dark, strong healer, and strong non-elemental, this is the banner. But if you're looking to pick up Final Fantasy I Synergy before the re-release of the new Torments, then this probably isn't the place to do it, because there's one that's closer to the release that looks better. And by the time that banner comes around, we will find out what the next Final Fantasy I banner is. Okay, next banner is also good. Matoya's USB is actually pretty decent. She has a chase that she uses when she exploits weakness. And she has a fire, ice, and lightning magic damage, and quick cast 1 when using witch abilities. This makes Matoya dual elemental. So it's actually pretty decent for exploiting ice and lightning. And really the highlight of the banner is that it doesn't take a festival to have 2 chains on a single banner. We have Warrior of Lights and Garlands here. So Holy and Dark together here. I personally feel like if Holy and Dark is your aim, you'd probably be better off going after something like, well, you got 2 options. One would be Orlando. Orlando is a Holy, Dark, Lightning, Earth character. Another would be waiting until the next Final Fantasy I banner, which has Warrior of Light and Garland on the top, and also has Warrior of Light's chain on it. Does not have Garland's chain, but that's not a huge loss, because Garland himself is a massive dark damage dealer, and the chain just is also good. Alright, thank you. Have a good one, Sanbu. T. Slesby Husp. It helps that there is a character with a name embedded in here. Warrior of Light's USB, and here's probably my issue, is that Matoya's USB is only just good. It's serviceable. And Warrior of Lights is just a kind of a middling Holy USB. So you really will be just pulling on this banner for the chains. And there's nothing that particularly sticks out in the Bristol Break section, though this banner will be changed a little bit because Maya is on it and we do not have access to Maya. However, we may get Maya in this event, who knows. I think it's kind of likely. At least I think it's a possibility, so maybe we will see Maya's things here. But yeah, I actually don't care for this banner a whole lot, other than the chains, so that's what you'll be pulling on for here. So that event, I think it's banner 1 or bust. But if you're going after banner 1, it has to be for those specific reasons. Dark, for most people, it's probably going to be, I need physical dark damage, and I need a power healer. The non-elemental is kind of just a bonus, a nice bonus. Because I don't even think anybody comes close to dealing the non-elemental that, well, Cloud's different. But anyway, that's that banner. You kind of need to fulfill those requirements to pull on it. It doesn't have mass appeal, but at least it does have some. Final Fantasy XIV. We see 2 new characters? 3. Sail is a ice summoner. Horsebro. That's what I'm calling him because I both am hesitant and refuse to actually say his name. Is a meat shield. He is a meat shield of the likes that we have not seen yet in this game. And Estenine is a lightning? No, wind dragoon. Great, because we needed more of those. First banner is, yeah, Wind Dragoon USB, Alphino USB, which is pretty cool for multi-elemental stuff. Memphilea's USB is pretty good for buffing, but we have a lot, we just went through the Onion Knight fiasco, and there's going to be more buffing in the future. I did like Memphilea's USB when it first came out, but has since grown a little old. But it's still going to be good. It's a tri-buff that you don't see a combination that you do not see repeated often, so it will stack with a lot of things. So it's not a bad thing. It's just not something that I would put a priority on anymore. So the top of the banner, the problem with what Horsebro brings is that what he is, a meat shield, is not a good thing in Final Fantasy Record Keeper. If what he did was a good thing in Final Fantasy Record Keeper, this character would be awesome and super cool. Self, defense and resistance plus 100%, mind plus 50%, HP stock 6,000, and Horsebro cover. When in the front row, automatically cover back row members from PHY, BLK, BLU, and WHC and SUM attacks with 50% damage reduction. That's totally awesome. Nothing else in this game is quite like that, and that would be really neat. The problem is that there is a certain 3-letter combo that is not mentioned here called NAT, and that is what most attacks in the entire game are on. So it doesn't really do much. He kind of just sits there and gets hit with area of effect attacks. If they hadn't made the game steer away from these damage types so much, this would be really cool, but it's not. So I don't really consider it a big pull. For you Final Fantasy XIV people out there, I've heard that this character is much beloved. I'm not pronouncing it, Adia. I am steering clear from even trying to pronounce it, so deal with it. Estinine is just a Wind Dragoon. Nothing special. With the power wind that we have in the game, and honestly, there's better Wind Dragoons than it's a him, right? No. It's not good. So what you're looking at here is multi-element coverage from Alphino and a buffing USB. This banner is pretty much just not so good. No, BLU has been in the game for a while. We've stopped hoping. Second banner is a lot better. The top of the banner actually is filled with strong things. Issails, USB, is a very powerful Ice Mage Soul Break, which is a rank-based chase, which could be used with both. I know people balk at the idea of doing it, but Valley Garmanda or Chain Blizzaga. Estinian. This is why I can't play Final Fantasy XIV. The names are just all over the place. Sid gets his USB. It is a just fire physical machinist thing. With how many of those are in the game, I'd probably consider this the weakest point on the banner. But it is actually still good. It's a self-quick cast, which, you know, quick cycle and fire, and instead of giving a stat boost, so the normal allotment that you're going to see on USBs is an element, quick cycle, stat boost. So plus 30% attack. But instead of getting that stat boost, you're trading it away for something called Wildfire, and it is much better than a stat boost. It is a finisher, where after the 15 seconds of the USB is completed, you automatically fire off something. And it's actually pretty powerful. So as far as fire physical goes, this is pretty nice. But with how common fire physical is, I wouldn't consider it much of a win. You're going to accidentally fall into things that probably replace this, unfortunately. And here's one. Here's one I would place over it. Ida's USB is very good. It starts around with Instacast Monk 3. Normally, you know, back in the day, this wasn't that great. Because this is actually quite an old USB. But these days, it's really good because Fires Within is really good. So you just cast it, and you instantly fire off Fires Within 3 times, and, you know, then you probably use it once more, at most, and then you use it again. That's all you do. It's pretty simple and pretty good. And Papalimo's OSB is good because he's good. So that's a pretty decent top of the banner. My issue, and I already went over this a little bit with Sid, is that it's fire focused, and the problem with fire in this game is that it's so plentiful. It's never stops being plentiful. They keep giving us powerful fire stuff in like every event or every other event at most. And there's fire characters in this game that are so obscenely powerful that they make these characters look like dirt. So actually actively seeking out fire damage is kind of an issue, and that is why I would say that this banner is a bit of a miss, because all you're really looking for here is this Ice Soul Break. It is pretty nice. The Soul Break itself is very powerful. I would consider her an S tier character, and the relic itself is a plus ice rod, which is also really nice. But I think the theme that I'm going to be going into with a lot of these banners up until third anniversary is we should expect more. Third anniversary is probably debuts the most new relics that we've ever seen. It is another notch on the staircase of ascending power creep. That means that the mithril that we're like accumulating right now, as far as proximity is concerned, is third anniversary mithril, and you should view it as this is all third anniversary mithril. How many of these are worth spending mithril on to take away from that? And I can't, with the strength and the strength of the next festival, I would not say that this banner gives you enough chance to give you good enough things to make it worth it. Even though I really do like that ice character. So that would be, in my opinion, that event would be a pass. Yeah. Hope for a better Final Fantasy XIV event in the future, which honestly, I do believe the next one will be. The chosen people of Final Fantasy XIV will most likely come back with the next one. And since they're always big hits, they often get strong things. Please remove Ishtola's USB from your mind. Alphino, Papalymo, and Ishtola will... I feel like they're coming back. And they're coming back with a vengeance. So next up we have Final Fantasy Tactics. This event sees the release of Alma, which I was personally happy about as a big Final Fantasy Tactics fan and a big Alma fan. I was happy to see her released. She's just a healer. I was kind of hoping that they go offensive with her, or like spin off Ovelia into offensive and make Alma a healer, but they just decided to make them both healers. I know, as far as like the way the game went, it made sense, but there's just it's kind of crowded. That's all. Yeah, there's a bunch of delays, so I'm gonna try to not respond to chat that much unless it's like for really real stuff. 1 to 2 minute delay? Oh my goodness. Try refreshing. Holy crap. So Alma's new, and we get a new ability in this event, Assault Saber. I'm definitely waiting for this one. When it first came out, I didn't really care. But now that I've seen what happens with a lot of Holy Knights, it is very useful to have a 5-hit ability that is not built off of your defensive statistic, because it's not always plausible to use either to use Divine Cross or to use a burst command to give yourself that defense. And that's probably the way I looked at it when this first came out, because, you know, we were still making heavy use of Sentinel commands back then. A lot less so now. It's pretty much USBs, USBs, USBs. So this offers Knights a 5-hit ability that does holy damage, that doesn't have a defense requirement on it. So this is going to be a big ability for a lot of people. We have 2 banners in this event, and this banner is something that, well, a lot of people are going to be pulling on, I think. If the gacha sim clicks that I've noticed on the website are any indication, this is a clear favorite from now until the next anniversary. Because Orlando's USB is here, and Marsh's USB. These are 2 hyper-powered USBs at the top of their respective classes, and both are multi-elemental. Orlando's is triple elemental. As you'll see, the entry is an automatic crit, so the entire entry does 150% damage. it gives you the same status as Cloud's USB, and that everything he does for 25 seconds after it automatically crits. And it provides an X mode Sword Saint that gives him 50% attack. So most USB statuses gives you 30% of the relevant statistic. Orlando's not content with that. He gives himself 50%. This just makes him viable on every single banner, or every single team that you make. Whether that be, you know, physical or magical. And it ability doubles Night and Darkness. And that's what makes him a triple elemental character with this USB, is that Night covers 2 elements and Darkness covers 1. Orlando in this event gets buffed to 5-star Darkness. This is a ridiculously powerful relic. One of the most powerful in the game. That's probably no surprise to anybody after seeing what his OSB did when it first came out. And his OSB is also on this banner. I did go over recently in the tier list updates that Orlando's OSB actually doesn't really fall out of the meta because it's just that powerful. Because eventually we get a 6-star Spellblade that does lightning damage, which Orlando can use. So Orlando using his OSB is actually a potent lightning damage dealer. So he's quad elemental. It just takes a very, very different route to get there than Bart's does. Alma's USB is the boob of the banner. Party Haste, Protect Shell, Heavy Regen, Status Blink, and Medium Re-Raise. A lot of this stuff is fluff. Heavy Regen is worth something, but not much. Status Blink is definitely the best thing that you can get here. Medium Re-Raise is not worth anything, and that's it. So Protecting Shell can be mimicked with 4-star abilities. Eventually, Haste can be mimicked with a 5-star. But really what you're looking at here is a Haste and Status Blink. If you can find benefit, like if you're having trouble fitting Protect and Shell into a party that needs Protect and Shell, then you're looking at a passable USB, because Haste, Protect Shell, and Status Blink could be a valuable status. Do you have a big delay to me? Wait a sec, I'll ask. Sorry, I'm trying to talk to chat. There's something going on Twitch right now that's making my delay just obscene. Well, Ultima, that was a bit zealous with that purge. I did see the message. And it was only a 1-second purge. I guess I'm gonna have to tweak that. Okay, anyway, moving on with the banner. Sorry for that little delay. We have Marsh's USB, which is kind of gross. It's, you know, I say it's dual elemental, but it could potentially be all elemental as long as you're using a physical party. Marsh can just, I don't know, he can Omega Drive. No, he can't Omega Drive because he needs to use night abilities. What would be a good night ability for him to use on a party that doesn't need to exploit Holier Earth? I don't know. Saint Cross to give himself high regen? Yeah, that sounds fine. So, what's really awesome about this USB is it gives high quick cast to the entire front row of the party every time he uses a night ability. So, that's awesome for everything. Particularly awesome for Holy and Earth, and super awesome for Holy because it also gives him Unholy. It's just speaks to the disgusting strength of high quick casting your entire party for the whole battle. Your whole offensive party for the whole battle. That it can be used pretty much anywhere. So that's awesome. I personally believe Orlando's OSB is still very relevant. I know a lot of people have it, I don't. I've had some pretty bad luck when it comes to Final Fantasy Tactics. So we've got a pretty good top end here. Alma's is, like I said, it's the one in the negative. But it's potentially good in the future, I think, when we get access to the new chains. Because the new chains give, stat buff plus 50%. And then starts a chain, so there's no haste attached to that. So maybe adding something like this to the party could be useful. I don't know. It's kind of speculative. I think the best thing about this relic is the Soul Break is the relic itself, which is a holy staff. A lot of REM users out there are probably going to like that. But that's only if they pulled on that Type 0 event that I said that probably should be a skip. Because on the next Type 0 event is REM's USB and OSB, and the OSB is a Holy Dagger, so she doesn't actually need Alma's staff. For the rest of the banner, we have a pretty decent healer burst. Ramza's Shout's going to be good to anybody that doesn't have an equivalent to that, like me. Marsh's BSB, nothing to talk about. Orlando's neither. Gafgarian's is not before the Soul Break, but because it's a Darkness Sword. And Sir Orlando up here would actually really enjoy the use of that if you don't have one for him to use. Legend Materia are overall really good. This is really good on Marsh. This is really good on Ramza. And this is really good on Orlando. Alma's is the only kind of iffy one, only because Alma's well, it's actually not a good Legend Materia. And Alma's only a passable healer. So that's your only mark against it there. Overall, pretty good banner, because it has a few decent bursts, pretty powerful top end, and a good Legend Materia section. So this is one of the few banners I can see in the coming cycle that is going to be worth some people's 3rd anniversary mithril. Next banner is actually not bad. It's just living in the shadow of the first banner. We got some elemental gear here. Agrius' Holy Sword, Miliadul's Earth Armor, and Mustadio's Fire Gun. Fire Gun is an interesting thing. Just like Sid Garland's, it's just more fire stuff, and that's kind of an issue. It's not great fire stuff either. It is, see, like I talked about with Sid Garland, it was End Fire and then Quick Cycle. That's this. This is just Imperial Fire and Quick Cycle. There is no stat boost. There is nothing added to it. This is less than a USB that we're expecting. So not only is it fire, but it's underpowered for fire. So that's kind of awful. Miliadul's USB, on the other hand, is actually pretty decent because it's an Imperial Earth and triple stat debuff. It's not that good in the meta that we're currently in for Magicite because there's few things where this is useful. but that would be if it were not Earth. Because it is Earth, and because it is useful for Ixion, who doesn't have as heavy of a resistance to debuffs. This is actually a pretty good soul break for Ixion. That magic defense and resistance on Ixion is actually going to do a pretty fair amount of work, because he only has a 60% resistance instead of the 80% that the rest get. Agres is USB, similar to Warrior of Lights. It's just, it's okay. Not that great in a crowded field of physical holy stuff. Ramza's USB is amazing. So we're looking at Ramza's USB and Miliadul's USB here, I think. Bursal breaks. Don't care. Possibly decent. I think, even though debuffs might be useful, I'm not sure. No, I don't think so. I'm gonna say no. Like, it's fairly decent stuff, but none of it's truly like all that effective compared to what we're looking at in the future. I'm trying to, the near future, the next festival future. And that's what the stream is about. But this Mont Blanc is, his Bursal Break is pretty good. It's Tri-Elemental and a party buff. So it's useful in quite a few situations, as well as, I mean, just having a party buff is always going to be neat. And the commands are good too, because they're all Tri-Elemental. As well as, you know, I'm starting to go in deep into analyzing banners now. I wasn't supposed to do this. It's Habit. Medium Knight. Quick cast 1 when using machinist abilities. Gafgarian. No. This is good. Chant. Ugh. This is not really that good of a banner, because as far as what is considered truly strong things, it's really, really limited when it comes to that. So, yeah, I would have to say that this isn't going to be a pull for a whole lot of people, other than those maybe looking for a fire gun and earth armor. But there's better ways to get that stuff in the future as well, so... yep, I would have to say pass on that. So this first banner sticks out in its effectiveness. And I would say the first banner, sorry. Holy and Earth specifically, because Orlando and Marsh are both Holy and Earth. Also strong lightning, and also very strong darkness. But the very strong darkness does come in one single relic. So I say Holy Earth banner because if you get either one of these, then you've significantly upgraded those teams. But the other stuff is limited to a single relic. And here's what I was talking about when it came to Fire Gun. Is this Final Fantasy VIII banner. We have 4 6-stars that all have an elemental property. Is just nobody been talking in chat? All right. All right, so we got 4 weapons with elemental properties here. Renoa's Cutlass is a plus ice thrown weapon. Irvin's Antares is a plus fire gun. Fusion's Crystal Cross is a plus wind thrown weapon. Renoa's and Fusion's are both magically based, and Zell's Dragon Claws is a plus fire fist weapon. Renoa's USB is very similar to Assail's. I know that's not how her name's pronounced, but that's gonna... It's just... I'm not gonna learn how to ever say it. It's a rank-based chase, and extremely good. And extremely good because, like her... The Final Fantasy XIV women's equivalent, it is also on a plus ice weapon. So that's really awesome. Irvin's USB, another physical fire soul break. So you just... They keep on coming. And Fujin's USB is magical wind, and Zell's USB is more physical fire. Just can't avoid that kind of stuff. The draw of this banner is ice, wind. I suppose... Well, Zell is extremely powerful physical fire, so that's... At least he can hang with the top. That's nice. Down here... Irvin's 5-star gun is also fire. But there's nothing all that special in the Burst Soul Break section other than that. Yeah. So I liked this banner when I first saw it, but over time it has kind of diminished because the uniqueness of the 4 elemental 6-star weapons is not unique anymore. All right. Fushin's LMR is good. Irvin's is fine, but he's definitely the weakest part of the banner, so I wouldn't be that thrilled to get his Legend Materia relic. I unfortunately think this banner has gone down in time, and I don't think that it's really all that worth going for. Unless, you know, fandom stuff. Because I think one of the biggest things that we found out here is, one, fire just keeps on going. You can't avoid fire. It just keeps on going. So Irvin and Zell are kind of diminished in that regard. Zell is still pretty damn good, but he can still be replaced by quite a few people. The main hit here is Fujin, where we found out that it is going to take very, very, very long before they start developing Magical Wind again. So while Fujin and Alphino were pretty powerful against the Golem Magicite, they unfortunately get hit quite a bit. They don't... Their strength doesn't increase enough to keep up with power creep until the future, where we get Barbarecia and Ultimecia. And then you could use, you know, Fujin and Alphino as supplement characters to those groups. So back then we thought, okay, Magical Wind is still a thing. Well, Magical Wind is not going to be a thing for a while now. Irvin is just kind of bad. Pretty bad as a fire damage dealer. Renault is the bright spot on the banner. Ice, Magical Ice is still very powerful. Renault herself is probably, in my opinion, the most powerful of the trio. So, yeah. I spent too long on that banner to just say no to it. Next up, we have Squall's awful Super Soul Break that has a U in front of it for some reason. Laguna's excellent USB, Selfie's really good healer USB, and Squall's OSB. This banner is pretty much dead on arrival because of 3rd anniversary. There is a Squall specific banner that just kind of blows this out of the water as far as it comes to dealing ice damage. Chain's there, Squall's UOSB is there, his Burst Soul Break is there, his Legend Materia is there. It's basically just better than this banner. You want to pull on this banner for Laguna. I suppose that's it. And Selfie's a pretty decent healer, so I suppose that's there too. Final Fantasy IX, one new ability, Cyclone Bolt. Interesting ability. 5-star Dragoon that is 3 single target, lightning and wind, ranged physical that self no airtime too. This is actually kind of useful for some characters. Particularly at the current time, Lunith, who is a potent wind damage dealer as long as he doesn't have to deal with the airtime that comes with Aerial Dive. And that's going to continue into the future until he gets the 5-star Wind Spellblade, which is quite far into the future. So Lunith very much appreciates the Cyclone Bolt. You know who else appreciates it is Kain with his Lightning Chain. Because the slowness of Lightning Dive actually makes Kain a pretty poor chain wielder because he doesn't accumulate charges on the chain very quickly because of that airtime. This is going to be a good thing for some Dragoons. So I'm, as a holder of the Kain chain, I am actually kind of pumped for the release of this ability. We get... Oh, Freya gets Dancer 5 access, finally. No new abilities, though. Or no new characters. Okay, so on this banner, we have 3 good USBs and 1 not. There are going to be people that like this banner, because I think what makes this banner pullable is if you are somebody that doesn't have shout, or you don't have or didn't pull for or won't be pulling for Onion Knight. Here's a variation on the shout buff. This is attack 50%, haste, protect, and shell. So it's just a direct upgrade for physical teams to Riku. And what's nice about this is that Quina actually does Quina things. Where Riku is just kind of a mess. Quina has a very specialized dive. He or she is an entruster. Quina has a trance mode that when Quina is reduced to below 20% health, gets shot up to 100% and instantly gains 500 soul break points. That's equivalent to 1 bar as we know it right now. That's a lot of soul break points for free. So if you can find a way to trigger that, or just let it get triggered, Quina just gets a free 500 soul break points to entrust over to somebody. So Quina as a fight starter and then as an entruster for the rest of the fight is actually really powerful. He makes one of the better supports. He or she, sorry. It makes a good support. So if this is a valuable soul break to you, then this could potentially be a valuable banner to you, because Zidane's USB is very powerful physical wind damage, and Beatrix's USB is very powerful holy physical damage. Beatrix has a rank-based chase, which is, those are always going to be good. A lot of people were a little apprehensive when they first started coming out, because, oh my god, I gotta farm up all these orbs. But then once people started seeing what Ash's USB is capable of, I think they're on that train. They're like, okay, well, I'm in. I'll farm those orbs. That's fine. That's exactly how this is gonna go. Give Beatrix an R5 ability, and you're in. So that's powerful. That's 3 powerful things. But one of them may be a complete miss to you if you already have a capable shouter. And the unfortunate part and why not a lot of people are going to pull on this banner is because having a capable shouter is actually fairly easy. Ramza's BSB2 and Onion Knight's Ninja, both of which appear on very, very, very pullable banners, so there's a lot of them going around. Make this is not as I want to see more of these in the game, and I know I'm not going to, unfortunately. So that's that. And yes, I have not talked about one other USB, and there's a reason for that. Is because Freya gets a pretty bad USB, and that's 10 single target, 1 non-elemental, and wind, enemy defense and resistance minus 50%, and self-quick cast jump abilities. Not terribly good. At least with someone like Lunith, we sacrifice the defense and resistance minus 50%, which isn't that powerful at the highest level of content, and give him high quick cast instead, and his dive is instacast and haste. Instacast 3 and haste, which is a hell of a lot better than Freya's. Yeah. This is low damage wind USB, so oops. So again, this is a potentially good banner as long as these 3 are good for you. That would be Physical Holy, Physical Wind, and Shout Buff. That you do not think that you will be pulling for elsewhere. That includes the Onion Knight USBs that we're almost guaranteed to get on the next festival. As for Burst Soul Breaks, it's all pretty much poop except for Akos. Critical 50% buff. Good for physical parties. Bad. This is really cool for Quina, because that makes it completely plausible to trigger that that trance. Because you can just use the strongest thing you got on the first turn of the fight, and Quina's going to trance immediately. You don't have to worry about killing Quina, because Quina has Last Stand. Beatrix, Bad Legend Materia, and Zidane, Bad Legend Materia. So I think that's probably the nail in this banner, is that there's 3 good USBs and then just death. Valley of Death. Saved by Quina's LMR and Echo. And not saved, but tried to pull out of the lava with Echo's BSB and Quina's LMR. Otherwise, it's all just poop. Let's see. Next banner is rightfully a lot better received. All 4 6 stars on top are good. Kuja's USB is very powerful, magical, dark. Vivi is one of the most powerful characters in the entire game. Specifically, a bringer of the apocalypse with in a fire team. Because of Black Magic ability double and the ability to transfer 50% more dual cast chance. That coupled with Meltdown makes Vivi just rivaled only by Terra and his ability to deal fire damage. Garnet has the weakest point on the 6 star, and that's not even a bad weak point, is Garnet's USB, which is a good buffing and automatic damage bard USB. And Kuja's OSB is good because Kuja's USB is good. So that's all really good, and Vivi's USB is Fire Staff. Kuja's USB is Dark Light Armor, and Kuja's OSB is Dark Rod. So that's a good elemental equipment at the same time, so that's nice. And down here, we continue the trend of elemental equipment with Vivi's Good Burst. It's just like Mont Blanc's, just a little... slightly power creeped, but still good because it's a party buff on a good character. Garnet's Good Burst Soul Break, which is a party buff in Imperil. Which are both No, the Burst Soul Break is not. The 26 is not, isn't it? Yeah, it's not. But Garnet's Burst Soul Break is Lightning Staff. Kuja's LMR is good. Vivi's LMR is not really. Garnet's LMR is not really that good, and neither is Steiner's. So, yep, this banner has some really good stuff going for it, but it also has a problem at the bottom, where we only see a truly useful Kuja LMR. Vivi's LMR is really not that good because he does so much damage that sacrificing cast time to get more damage is just going to give you cap issues, and it doesn't... The return for the increased cast time is not worth it. But what is nice about it is a plus fire hat, so you don't even mind that it's about LMR, so that's fine. So this is going to be a banner that a lot of people look to because Vivi's USB is on it. Very powerful physical dark to go along with Vivi's like almost omni-elemental USB. This is a banner that is not as stacked as the Fire banner in the 3rd anniversary, but probably exceeds it in Fire strength. I know it sounds kind of weird, but because, well, you know, that's not even that true. You know what the problem with this banner? If there is a problem, it is one of the better banners between now and 3rd anniversary. It's that the one character that Vivi sees as an equal is Terra. And the Fire banner at 3rd anniversary is Terra themed. It has Terra's UOSB, which allows her to exceed the amount of damage that Vivi can do in a turn, as well as Terra's LMR. And that's actually all you really need for Terra to be a powerful character, because she can give herself a buff and quick cast with her trance mode. So she doesn't... Her USB is a very good thing to have, and it is not on the banner that we know of. But it's not necessary. So if you're looking for extremely powerful fire, you can also find it on a much better and more stacked banner in the festival. It's tough. Because by itself, the single relic, the single USB, is... Vivi becomes almost just omnipotent. It's a good comparison. I'm going to leave it at that and just say, if you are in the market for powerful fire, not just fire, because that's everywhere, really, honest-to-goodness, godlike firepower, take a look at both of the banners. I'm going to be going... went over this one now. I will be going over the Terra banner when we get to the end of this preview. Just take a look at both of them and see which one suits your needs. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in stream or in Discord. I keep falling in my chair. Next up, we have a much talked about banner. For good reason. And that's a Final Fantasy V banner. 2 new abilities. 2 very, very powerful abilities. Sand Shadows, which is the equivalent of the Blink bestowing 5-star abilities that we have for ninjas right now for Water and Dark. And Desert Mirage, which is the exact same thing, but for dealing damage. And this, I believe, marks the point where ninja abilities get buffed. To, instead of being 1 to 4 hits, or sorry, 2 to 4 hits depending on your blink status, which is 0, 1, and 2, to 3 to 7. And they just become, they become soul breaks, 5-star soul breaks. So these are extremely useful abilities, especially for an element that not a lot of people have strength in. And because ninjas are so strong, the the triad of ninjas that have dual casting ninja, which would be Yuffie, Shadow, and Edge, all become pretty powerful characters of all three of their elements with no soul breaks at all. Two of them stick out, which would be Edge with his Super Soul Break 2, which gives instant Last Stand and Physical Blink and Haste to the party, and Yuffie with her Flash Tech, which we will see in the festival, which gives her 2 stacks of Physical Blink and a 30% damage boost, rank-based damage boost to ninja abilities. Makes them specifically all-element or tri-elemental ninjas. Shadow doesn't have those, but he does have instant cast USB, which makes him more potent as at his element than the other two are. The other two are just more varied. So there's my little blurb about ninjas being super powerful. Keep those 3 ninjas in your mind because they will be helping you. I have elected to choose a ninja for the future that is going to be my all-elemental ninja to help out groups that I am lacking in damage, and that would be Yuffie. And I'll talk about why that is in the future. Zazat is one of the new characters on this event, along with Kelger. That, I did not know that. That is really weird. Oh, okay, it's a balance change. I remember this balance change. Gafgarian, his legend materia. Low chance to smart Ether 1 when dealing dark element damage to enemies. Is the worst legend materia in the entire game. Only matched by Zazat's legend materia 2. After medium chance to self-smart Ether 1. Doesn't make it any better. It's still the worst in the game. Thanks, guys. Okay, so I'll go over Zazat and Kelger now. Zazat is a Ice Spellblade. And Kelger is an Earth Ninja. Unfortunately not considered part of the Triad because he does not have 35% dual casting as a LM2. But still a good Earth Ninja. So this banner is unique. It is truly and actually unique in the fact that out of the 14 relics that appear on the banner, 9 of them give plus elemental damage. And if that would be at least noteworthy by itself. And then you'd kind of have to take a look at what elements those things were. And the really interesting part about these 9 relics is that they are 4 elements that are very, very underserved when it comes to having elemental relics, and that is Earth and Ice. Very rare for both of those. Specifically Ice, but definitely Earth as well. So let's take a look at the banner and see if there's any good soul breaks in here that could potentially make this banner worth going on to try to get some soul breaks. And if we get some misses at the same time, at least we know we have a high probability of getting some really powerful elemental gear at the same time as missing, which is a good thing. You're not going to find better consolation prizes than these. So the top of the banner has that interesting trait of 4 elemental 6 stars. The first is Jorgan in his USB is a rank-based chase. So he is an Earth Knight with a rank-based chase. He's basically Beatrix. Because he also has a 35% chance to dual cast Knight in his Legend Dive. So as I've said, already awesome. The sword, the Falchion, is... Congratulations, Serial Nuker. It's honestly, congratulations. It's something to certainly be happy about. A 6-star Earth Sword. Awesome relic. He would love it, and so would others. Next up, we have Zazat in his USB, which is a good physical ice USB. And Zazat's sword is a plus Earth, or plus Ice sword. Really nice. Next up, Kelger's USB. Powerful Earth Physical. Not as good as Dorgon, but still very good because it's in the hands of a ninja. By giving himself all of this stuff, it really it gives him a chase. It's pretty much turns him into an edge, an Earth edge that doesn't have access to the dual casting, which edges just makes him obscene. Kelger's makes him a powerful Earth character. Kelger's sword plus Earth sword. Gloof is the not so powerful. We've got, you know, really awesome. These are good. And this just has an S tier animation. Gloof's Platinum Hammer is a plus Earth Hammer, so that's actually pretty good too, especially for all you Ingus users out there, because Ingus can use hammers. Gloof's USB is good, just good. That's all. Attack magic 30% to party, haste to party, and an Earth to himself. So he becomes a party buffer that can use some fairly decently powered Earth's monk abilities after that. So that's the top of the banner. Elsewhere, we're looking for gems. We've got Ice Armor, Earth Armor, Ice Armor, Earth Armor, and Earth Armor. And all the way down here with this Earth Armor, Kelger's model. This is a ridiculously powered Super Soul Break. And this is actually what turns Kelger into kind of a just on the edge of the table that the Edge, Shadow, and Yuffie sit at. Because this is a completely non-elemental powerful Super Soul Break, just like Edge's. Not as powerful as Edge's, but still very powerful. 0 cast time, 40% Medica, and Party Blink. Very, very, very powerful, just like Edge's Super Soul Break, to have a 0 cast time physical blink, especially with a heal attached to it, because of the fight that dispels with a physical attack. In the 4-star Matricites, and that would be Ixion. He dispels your party, but it's a physical attack, so if you have physical blink up, you can blink it and skip that mechanic, and that mechanic is the difficulty of the fight. If you can find ways to either mitigate it or remove it completely, then you've trivialized the fight. This is... Oh! What's up, Skillet? This is a very, very powerful Super Soul Break. And it is also Earth Armor. So this banner is very interesting. If you like Earth and Ice, and you are looking for Earth and Ice power, this is a good place to get it, and especially... it may even be a good banner for some people that are looking specifically for these relics. Earth relics are still hard to come by. Ice relics is a little different. They're even harder to come by overall, but one of the banners in 3rd anniversary, which this would be taking Mithril away from, is the Squall and Lightning banner, and Squall's UOSB is a 6-star Ice Sword, and his Flash Soul Break is a plus Ice Armor. So at least those two exist there. So this banner has Sword, Armor, Armor. So it doesn't have that much more Ice stuff on this banner. So if you're in the market for specifically Ice, I'd carry over. But if you're in the market for Earth and Ice, then it's this banner is definitely worth taking a look at. I haven't decided whether I'm going to pull on this or not. I think it's at least probably worth 50, but we'll see. We'll see how much Mithril I've got when this banner comes around, and how much I think I'm going to have by 3rd anniversary. Second banner, oh my god. I spent so long talking about that banner. This banner is very good. If there's an issue with this banner, is that it has a fire focus, but that's not that much of an issue when you consider who the fire is in Creel. Creel's Sleipnir's Tail is a plus fire whip. Very good. The USB is a rank-based fire chase. Extremely good. It makes... If Creel didn't have the access to the chain, this alone would probably push her into the S-tier fire characters. So that's really good. X-Death's USB is a High Runic. If you don't have one of those, this is, in my opinion, the best one in the game until Celeste USB comes out. Very good. Bart's OSB is a good thing to have if you do not have it, and Creel OSB is a good thing to have if you need Creel things. This is a very good top end to a banner. Elsewhere, value, Bart's Fire BSB. This is the first time it comes around. So if you're looking for that, this is the place to get it. Will it be? No, it won't be in 3rd anniversary. It might be. It might be. It wasn't in Japan's 3rd anniversary because their 3rd anniversary actually came before this event. DNA, because our 3rd anniversary will be after, they may decide to throw it in there. That would be interesting. That would be a slap into the face of all the people that tried to throw Mithril to get it here. Elsewhere, we've got... I really like Lena's LMR. I like it very much with her USB. Unfortunately, her USB is not on this banner. Creel's LMR is very good. Bart's LMR is very good. And Xset's LMR is very good. This is a very good banner. A very good Legend Materia section, a very good US 6-star section, and a powerful BSB in the BSB section. Oh, Bart's water BSB is here as well. So if you need that. It's great. This is a very good banner. There will be people, I think, that that will consider budgeting pulls for here. Exdeath's Visage. Dark Resistance. But I know Creel's dress is fire armor. Like, what can I say to people about this banner? I think if there's something to take away is that with Creel and her chain, she becomes an invaluable member of a fire team. But Creel with her USB just becomes a very powerful fire character. And there's a very powerful fire character on a... arguably, but the argument wouldn't be that hard, fire banner in 3rd anniversary. So, yeah, I played up this banner a little bit, but I think this is strangely the key. If you do not have a high runic and would like one, this is a good banner. It is surrounded by very good things. Otherwise, I'd say I'd skip. Bart's OSB is not worth going after a fire character, which could be mimicked on 3rd anniversary. So that's crazy that a banner this powerful is kind of just pushed down a bit. That's all. This banner, though, this is different. Those relics. That's going to be something that I'm going to have to talk about at length when I do the event preview for this in March. Final Fantasy 12. Nope, I don't want the relics immediately. No new characters, no new abilities. Right to the banners. Vayne is a very powerful physical darkness, or no, a hybrid darkness character. He can do it each way. He's an experimenter. Vayne was a laughingstock because he had one of those strange BSBs that had his magic command susceptible to reflect, and there was much laughter to be had when I reflected and killed myself on a Final Fantasy 12 Torment. He was only a decent dark character back in the day. With this USB, he turns him into one of the better ones. He has a 35% chance to dual cast in his Legend Dive, which is very powerful. So he can for physical and magical, be a high value darkness character, which is really nice. Lars's USB, I don't really like it that much. Not because it's bad, but because he has his BSB. The difference between this and his BSB is its 0 cast time. That's probably the strength of it. Otherwise, it's party Asuna and status blink, while his burst soul break, also on this banner, is party status blink as well as a burst command. I think I would, in most situations, use his burst soul break over the USB because of those burst commands. The problem with Asuna is by the time you Asuna, the damage is almost always already been done. And Asuna doesn't affect things like slow. That's probably the most damning thing against it. Slow and stop are not affected by Asuna at all. So, like, say in a fight with Confuse or Sleep, a damage dealer is in the middle of a soul break cast and gets confused. All right, well, I've got this handy dandy Asuna that I can take care of that with. Oh, wait, the damage has already been done. The cast has been interrupted. I Asuna, and now they start out with 0 ATB. Their ATB needs to go up, and now their cast bar needs to go up. You want to be preventative instead of reactive. That's the way statuses work in this game, and that's why I don't really find any true usefulness out of this. So, is the fact that it's instant worth it? I don't think so. So, what else can we see here? Veins was good. Ashes is obviously good. And Rex's USB, probably a similar situation we're going to see here to that Final Fantasy IX banner with Beatrix, is Rex has a attack plus 50% haste. Not matched, because Quina can help every single party. Rex helps a certain element, and that would be lightning. You put this guy on a physical lightning team, and he is going to wreck. That lightning radiant shields, plus attack 50% in haste, and his ability to use lightning spell blades is just an awesome thing to have on your party. So that's good, but it's mono elemental. So I find a bit of an issue with this banner is these two relics. They're different. One is for physical and one's for magical. And it's not just one's physical and one's magical and, okay, we'll find a way to make them work together. No, one of them is physical. There is no compromise with attack 50% buff. So, I feel like you'd be much better off going after different banners if these were, you know, a thing to you. So what would make this banner pullable? If you're going after darkness as well as physical, or as well as lightning. So you can potentially pick up one, and that's fine, picking up one, because then you don't have to deal with the other. But again, you probably already have things that you want to build off of. So that's another thing to consider, is that if you already have things that you want to build off of, say you have something physical, something Orlando's OSB, for instance, or lightning. You have lightning, and then you get Ash's USB. Now you've got conflict. It doesn't work all that well. You want to focus. You want to say, okay, I have strong lightning physical. I don't want to start from the beginning in lightning magical, so I want to buff up my lightning physical. So I'm going to go after a lightning physical banner, or in the other way around. This banner is just, it's strong. It is strong. It has some strong stuff on it. It's just a little confused, and I think that that conflict of priority on the banner makes it probably not going to be pullable for a lot of people. I don't really care for that. This is cool. Good. Good. Awful. Oh, Franz Elamar. Oh my god. Next up, Gabrantha OSB, Von OSB. Oh, god. Von's OSB is so bad that his Super Soul Break's better than it. Is that on this banner? No. They don't do supers on banners anymore for not new characters. So Von's OSB has a cast time, but his powerful soul breaks don't have cast times, which make them higher DPS than his OSB. Gabrantha USB isn't bad. Von USB is good, but Von's OSB is just bad. You just don't use it. That's all there is to it. If you have his USB and OSB, you take the OSB off the bar, because you would use his USB instead. Can't really suggest this banner. Does this sound familiar? Physical Darkness. Non-elemental. Sounds like that Garland Master banner. And the Garland Master banner also has an S tier healer on it named Sarah. That's just a better banner than this. You go after this banner because you want the debuffs rather than Master's just immense non-elemental damage. Alright, we're getting to the end. We're in late March now. Final Fantasy II. Nothing new. Okay, 2 banners. Maria, USB, Black Magic ability double, awesome. Perseus bow is also a plus earth bow. Plus earth magical bow. Probably not going to see many of those. Guy's demon axe is a plus earth axe. That's about the best thing I can say about that. This is an awful USB. Monk ability boost. So he does a lot of damage with single slow cast monk abilities. And I don't even think Guy, he doesn't. He has another damage boost. He has no way to do more than 4 hits every turn. Guy went from being kind of a joke back in the beginning. Then he got his imperils and his super and his burst, and that was cool. And now he's back to being a joke. Mimu, on the other hand, was a joke, and now is his time to shine. He's going to shine the holy light of Mysidia upon all of us. His luminous robe is holy damage up armor, awesome. 10 single target, holy non-elemental, self-mind 50%, white magic ability boost, and white magic ability double. He's going to shoot the milk lasers on everybody, and it's going to be great. Very, very powerful magical holy damage dealer. And because of that mind 50%, he doesn't mind all that much. If there is no other mind parts or mind buffs in the party. So that's good. So we're alternating here. Maria, awesome. Guy, not. Mimu, awesome. Emperor, not. Emperor's an awful USB. It's area of effect. So I can't even say precisely the same thing I said about Miliaduel's burst or USB, because this is going to be low damage. Low damage Imperil Earth with stat debuffs. Oops. So I really like Mimu, I really like Maria. And they both have elemental relics, and that's cool. What else we got on this banner? Leon, low chance to double cast darkness abilities. Well, Leon's not on this banner other than his burst. Maria start battle with Unearth. Good. Guy, LMR bad because Guy. Mimwu, low chance to double cast white magic abilities. If it wasn't enough that it was ability doubling, he can 25% chance to add on another on top of that. And Emperor. This banner has some strength on it, but it has some gaping holes. Attack 50%, another one of these. Attack 50%, haste, last stand, and self-quick cast too. This is actually a pretty good USB. But it's got Firion on it. Firion, Gordon, unfortunately Maria. Oh god, if Maria's OSB was on the other banner instead of this one, or yeah, instead of this one, take off Emperor and put Emperor on this this derp fest. So Joseph is actually the best relic on this banner because Firion's USB is really bad. Firion has no way to do holy damage without his burst soul break, so you must entrust him. And even if you do, he doesn't do a lot of damage. He is, out of all the protagonists in the game, in Record Keeper, Firion is the worst. So Joseph lays claim to being the best on the banner. And he starts battle with an ice, so he can be an ice monk. So this banner is pretty bad. And this banner is just... there's too much going wrong for it. Hey, dude. Hi. Coming up. No? Okay. That's Blender. Sometimes he just mills around, sometimes he jumps up. Alright, so that was Final Fantasy 2. Final Fantasy 10. Ooh, 2 new ability. Oh, we got him. What's up, man? Like, sometimes it's just all of a sudden cat in your lap. Okay. 2 new abilities, Warring Frost and Cold Moon. These are weird. These are weird. Oh, you know what? I kind of know why these are here. These are supposed to sort of coincide with the Final Fantasy XI event for Ayame, who gets her USB, which works together well with Warring Frost. But the Final Fantasy XI event isn't a full event, so there was no way... It's a super boss, and there was no way to add these abilities on with that event, so they gave it to us in something that came out in about the same time. These are for Ayame and no one else. Sid mission stuff. If you've got a samurai in the realm, you need to deal ice damage. But honestly, Hailstorm is better than that. So anything else? Nope. Here we got something I've talked about in the Dress to the Nines preview yesterday. This is your Riku banner. Because we have Titus's UOSB here, which is pretty cool. It's a splash. It puts on 21 notches onto his chain, if you've got that. As well as an overflow strike at the end. I haven't talked about these yet. UOSBs come in 2 varieties. Either 20 single target hits plus 1 overflow hit, that's generally, or no, not generally, always has a higher total multiplier than OSBs. Or a different variety, Squall gets one, which is just 3 overflow hits. And those are the more powerful ones. These are less powerful, but they charge the chain faster. So that's what they're meant for. But they're still better than OSBs as far as their damage output's concerned. So that's a good thing. Yuna's USB is decent, Holy, and Wind. Preferably Holy. Because I personally believe Medina is better. But the X mode last summer does give her 30% magic, so maybe you don't have to worry about the Tiamat buff thing. Especially if you have Yuna Legend Dived. Because she gets 25% of her mind gets converted into magic. So Riku's USB is just not that good. It's a copy of Zidane's, but Zidane's is not that good. It's only good with his trance, which improves the cast speed of his thief abilities to instant speed. Riku has no such thing. She has modifiers for celerity and machinist, and the abilities that she would be using with her USB would be sharpshooter. Riku's just not a good character, unfortunately. And then we have Yuna's USB. So this is your Yuna Riku banner with a higher dose of Yuna than you're getting Riku. And hello, DJ Dragonflame. If this appears late to you, then blame Twitch. And Titus's Flash Soul Break is also here, which is just a typical Flash art that gives... it's a 0 cast time, costs half as much as a regular Soul Break, and gives him M-Water and N-Water stacking. Really powerful on Titus because he has an LMR that starts him out with N-Water. And N-Water stacking takes in previous N-Waters into consideration. So you can use this and stack it up to 2 immediately. Hi, Michael. As for bursts... Water Katana. All you edge users out there, here's a Water Katana. That is not a regular Soul Break that we will never see again. May never see again. I think I saw a banner that they were starting to introduce that allowed you to go back and get regular Soul Breaks. But this is much higher attack for Edge. This is what he would want to use because his Legend Dive has plus 9% Katana damage. In which there are no more available Water Katanas anymore until this one came out. Titus's BSB2 is good. Yuna's Burst Soul Break 2 is good. Lu's Burst Soul Break is good for Ice Armor. Both of Yuna's Legend Materia are good. They're both 25% double casts. One's for summoning, one's for white magic. However you want to run her. As I mentioned, Titus can start off with M-Water. And Riku has an awful LMR. Congratulations, Kappas. So this is actually not that bad of a banner. It's got some decent strength below the 6-star section. More than a lot of banners. But here's the thing is, I have this ETA'd for what, March 28th? For water. This is a water banner. You're getting a little bit of Yuna on the side. There is going to be a very powerful water banner in the 3rd anniversary. And that is most likely going to be the same banner that has Terra on it. And that's because Yuffie becomes one of the premier water characters in the game. She gets on the same banner. These are all new things, so she's guaranteed to get them. A UOSB, the same one, exactly the same thing as Titus's, except Yuffie's is a plus water thrown weapon. She gets a USB 2 that's basically an upgraded version of Edge's USB. She gets a flash art, which I already mentioned before. It turns her into an all-purpose ninja for all 3 elements. So UOSB, USB 2, and a flash art, all extremely powerful things. That and the rest of the banner is going to have water on it as well because they're dual elemental banners. Well, at least that one is. So if you're in the market for water, you're already going to know at the time. We're going to have access. You're already going to have access to banner information. So you'll know. And you'll know which to choose from. So we'll go over that at the time. Oh, there's a second banner. See more USB, see more chain, and then it just dies. Yeah. Jex USB isn't bad. And his LMR is pretty good. Start Battle with Undark. Turns him, if you've got both of his USB and LMR, he turns that into a pretty powerful dark character. But this is definitely see more USB, see more chain. At the same time as this banner. It'll be at the end of March, Mike. So I can't really suggest this banner. It does have a fair amount of dark on it. I mean, yeah. All three of these relics are very powerful dark. Seymour has a rank-based chase, so he's one of those. So this is very powerful dark. This is very powerful dark, and they're separate. They don't need to be used together. Together, they're actually extremely powerful. And then you have physical dark here. So if you're in the market for some dark, there are no dark banners in the festival. So that actually kind of makes this interesting. Is there any banners in the near future after this that I could see it giving it a run for its money? Okay, well, yeah. Sid Reigns directly after it. Sid Reigns USB. Nabat's USB. I guess not even. I mean, Reigns is obviously more powerful. But not if he already have Reigns BSB. That would just make Seymour better. To pull something for him. So maybe not. Yeah, you'd have to get all the way up here to the Dark Cecil banner. So, okay. Maybe that's an option. Okay, so we have gotten to the end. We have now gotten to 3rd anniversary. I'm going to take a brief break. I'm going to get myself a coffee and maybe a bite to eat. And then we're going to start talking about 3rd Annie. And if anyone would like to follow along, type !events in chat, and you'll be given a link to this, and you can follow along with each banner. As well as the event itself. If you click on the banner, it brings you to the mega thread. So, I'll be back in a couple minutes.